What's up, folks?
Good evening, guys.
Good to see everybody. Good to see Mr. Stanley Orchard and Grant McIntosh here up on the panel. I missed y'all last week. I'm glad to be back this week. Grant,
Cheers to that. Missed you
everybody, Grant is not on call today.
Cheers to that.
Enjoy it.
I had the holiday yesterday, so I had the extra day of being on call. So,
they added it to you, huh? Did you get like time and a half or something like that for that, or no?
Actually double time.
Nice. If you're gonna get it, you might as well get
I got a story about that in a bit.
That will work.
About double time?
You got a double time story.
Ooh, okay. Cool. I like stories. Somebody already said it's been a long week, and it has been a long week.
We're like, what are we? We're 18 hours in.
Yeah. Well, I think they're talking about a week from since last Tuesday. Since us all being together, which I wasn't, but you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
I'm looking on YouTube, and of course I see today Mr. Stanley Orchard's got a new video. Did you post that today, or did I just see it today?
I don't remember.
Yesterday.
Yes, I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just saw it today. It showed up in my feed. So check that one out. It's a good one. And if you haven't seen it, Grant posted a updated fall garden video. Check that out. And I posted nothing. I have posted nothing. So
you posted some
if you want.
Posted some updates on TikTok and Facebook.
Yeah. Been doing that. Trying to keep people.
I assume if you haven't been, just like enjoying a little time off or something, I assume that you've probably been spending time on your boat, and that is involved at least a little bit of camera time.
Yeah. That's the TikTok and YouTube, or TikTok and Facebook stuff. Maybe some Instagram stuff in there too. I got stories on that too. We all got stories. So let's see. We got Fishing is in the house early today. He was here.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still here. He was here before we even got started. Pickles Outdoors was here. Captain Matt, which is new to me. I don't know Captain Matt. I'm not sure if you're from the other forum or what. But Captain Matt's here. Nicholas Pouliot is here in the house. Dolly God says, got things to do. Can't spend no time with you all. That's so here, I'll let you all figure out.
I've got my fill of you guys already. I have had enough.
Put up with all you already. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? David Martin has joined us. Happy anniversary, Grant. Oh yes,
happy anniversary,
Grant and Janet. That's right.
Cheers to you guys.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Absolutely. That's worth a drink. And Wild Japan is in the house. How you doing, Wild Japan? Glad you made it. So let's see. Who are we going to start with? Let's start with Stanley. What's your week been like, Stanley? Since the last show, what's it kind of been like for you?
Well, so I've got Sharkathon coming up, and so I've been kind of preparing for that. I went out on Friday, did a little fishing, and I got a video filmed. Like I had a good day of it. We stayed the night, and this weekend, actually, he'll probably be here in the chat here soon. Chris Vela is typically in the chat. He's one of our guys here that hangs out on the live streams and stuff. Well, I ran into him out on the jetty, so I wasn't even fishing that morning. I was just I had never seen. So for anybody who's unfamiliar, so down here on Pottery Island, we have a couple of it's a big long island that runs the entire coastline of Texas. It's a barrier island. It's like the second biggest barrier island in the world. And so it's so big, it's like 120 miles, that the only way to get to the Gulf of Mexico is we had to cut some channels through it to get through. Port Aransas, Packery Channel, there's one south of there, forget what it's called, but Mansfield Pass.
Yeah.
And then Port Isabel has one. So I'm right here by Packery Channel. and we have a pier right down the beach from Peccary Channel that got destroyed in a hurricane a couple of years ago. So they're pulling the thing out now. They took this barge down to the pier and they filled it up with pieces of pier and they drove it back. They've been going in and out of Peccary Channel to it. What's up, Scully? You'll know what I'm talking about. So they got this barge full of like pieces of pier that they jackhammered. Well, in the process of doing this, they wrecked that barge over by the pier. It came loose and it got washed up on the beach. Okay, that's embarrassing. That's fine. Like whatever. They pulled it back out and they finished doing the job. So then, like last week, a barge filled with pieces of pier. So then last week, or a couple of days before last week, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago, they had this barge full of pieces and they had to do a couple of runs with it. They were on their way running back over to Peccary Channel to take this thing back into to unload the whole thing. And they wrecked it into the jetty and sank it. They wrecked it and it was grounded and then it actually sank in the surf. So now it's like sunk sitting up on our jetty. So this is comical. And there's other stuff happening with the pier that makes this really stupid. But so they have this second one. So I went out there. I hadn't seen this yet. I was like, I'm going to go take some pictures and stuff. And John, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that slideshow real quick, I want to show you guys this. So I went out there to take pictures of this. And on the left is what I went to take pictures of, this barge that they initially wrecked. While I was there hanging out with Chris Vela, doing some photography and trying to do some fishing and stuff like that, over at this jetty, they launch another barge through the channel and crashed it into the jetty while I was sitting there watching, while I was sitting there fishing and hanging out with Chris. I literally got to watch them crash this thing into the jetty. I did a shorts video about it on YouTube because it was so comical. But they literally, these things are now they were for a second there. They were on either side of each other on that one jetty. We couldn't even this guy went broadside on the channel. You couldn't even get a boat in or out of that channel for about an hour. They did end up pulling it out. But it's just been the most comical freaking thing in the world.
I don't understand how they do that. I mean, they move barges through all of these passes all the time. How is it all of a sudden, is it a certain company that's doing it that sucks at it or what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And this is 3 foot surf. And I did sit there and watch this thing happen. What happened is they are going out. It is 3 foot surf. I don't want to be out on a boat in 3 foot surf, but whatever, they're paying these guys probably $40 an hour or something.
Well, they're bigger boats.
No, it was just a regular tugboat. Oh. See, that was the thing that I disagree with here. And this is where my thing. So, and I'll get to that in just a second here. So he gets to the end of the jetty, right at the end where the waves are the biggest and the currents are the worst, and just stops. He cannot get out past the end of that jetty. He's kicking. That tugboat was kicking up sand from the bottom of the channel, trying to push this thing he was going full blast. And in doing that, that's when it turned broadside and came back up into the channel broadside. Now, my beef with this is where I'm I actually feel bad for these guys. So, and I thought about this and I was like, you know what? So this is a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday. It might've been Sunday morning. I forget, but probably Sunday morning. Anyway, so these guys have this one tugboat and a John boat. They had a little John boat that was running around, a dual hull, a dual engine, little cabin, tiny little 18-foot John boat. Anyway, so they're running around trying to do whatever they can to keep this thing, pointed straight. They can't do it. This is Sunday. So we were talking a minute ago about time and a half, about double time. These guys are making double time for one. That's dumb. This job should have been done days ago before the surf was big. I don't know what's going on to where they needed to do it in bad surf conditions on Sunday when the bad surf finally started happening. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe something happened. I don't know.
Wow.
The people who set this job up, I don't blame the guy in the tugboat, and I don't blame the guy in that John boat. Whoever their manager is, who was off on Sunday, told them you can have Monday off if you go out there on Sunday and make this happen. That is where this thing failed. It's whoever is signing off on this BS job, trying to get these guys out the door with this job, paying them top dollar to do it, and not giving them the equipment that they need to make it happen. That is what is wrong with this entire scenario. in my opinion. I'm a little hot about it. I've seen these things go down in oil field stuff, and it makes me mad seeing this happen because people are like throwing cans. They're mad and yelling at these guys as we're all trying to fish. And I'm like, dude, I really don't blame these guys. I blame whoever decided to send them with a single tugboat.
I'm going to say at least two tugs, right? At least two. Something control the front and the back. Because like you said, once he got up there and that thing got broadside to that channel, that tug in the back can't control shit no more.
No. And that's how things go really, really bad. That's how people get hurt. There's a bunch of dumbasses on that jetty. There was 200 people there watching this whole thing. I can't believe there's not a billion videos of it on YouTube. I guarantee they're all over TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was dumb.
Yeah. Cheers.
Crazy. Now the one that went down. Have a drink, Stanley. Yeah, calm down, Stanley. So the one that went down outside of the jetties, right, on the surf side, are they that's sunk? Are they going to leave that? Is that going to become structure now that people can fish around and you could snorkel?
That company owns that barge,
right?
So you can go snorkel it, and people were actually like, finally, I don't know why they didn't do this earlier, but there was on Sunday people starting to jump out on it and fish it. It was actually a pretty day, and it's nice and calm on the lee side of it. They were sending this barge out to unload it so that company could come and pull that other one out. They're going to try and get it out of there.
See what Scully's saying. The news is saying it's illegal to get on the barge.
Yeah. But there's nobody. You know, it's illegal to swim in the channel. You're not allowed to do that either. That's a federal offense.
I didn't know
but
that.
Nobody enforces that.
I would do it, but yeah, I didn't know that.
I snorkel. I spearfish there all the time. I'll even openly admit it. Like that's a good place to be spearfishing.
But you can swim on the outside of it. You can't swim on the inside. Okay.
Right. Yeah, a navigable waterway you are not allowed to be swimming around in.
Okay. Oh, so the intercoastal, you're probably not supposed to be swimming in the intercoastal, which makes sense for safety, especially the intercoastal. It's even more narrow than that channel. Yeah. And people go flying through the intercoastal, so I could see that.
Yeah. Exactly right, Scully. So exactly right.
Enough. Is there another picture or is that it?
That's it on that one. We can pull those back. Well, that was our weekend and last week.
You got to show that too. We're talking about the week you had.
Well, that's it right there. That was the fishing. So I skipjack. I got myself a little drum, bunch of whiting, and I got out there because I got these messages from my father-in-law, Rich, is sending me these pictures of his redfish. That's a 40-inch drum that he landed. He's like, "You got to get out here." So I did. I got out there and I got that skipjack.
He's killing you.
He is.
I'm going to do the same thing. When I'm retired and I'm out fishing, I'm going to send everybody pictures who's still working.
Real quick on that, we got those, but also we got, so I ran into, like I said, Chris Vela. I got to show him, dude. He was killing that on the jetty. He was mangroves and reds. He had that big drum, and then he got that stingray. It's actually a picture he sent me last week, but didn't make it to the live stream, so I'm showing it now.
Wow.
But he is absolutely killing it out there.
Man, yeah.
He's local to you?
Yeah. He's on the live streams. Normally we see him. He's not here yet. I assume he'll probably be here in a little bit. But yeah, he's a Packery Channel guy. And he sat there and we hung out with him and his dad. The three of us hung out there and made fun of the barge guys for an hour.
Small Water Charters in the house. Good to see you.
Good evening, John.
Anybody else sneaks in, let me know, folks. All right, Grant. So how was your week since the last Tuesday? What do you have going on?
Busy week on call. Busy week. Working. Got a little bit garden work done. Got the garden video out. Had to cover everything up Saturday night. We had our earliest frost on record Sunday morning.
That's crazy. And this is your first fall garden and you have the earliest frost on record?
Exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is crazy.
No, I covered up what I thought I needed to cover up and hosed everything down early morning before I went to work. Seems to be doing all right. Heck, we've been in the 80s the past couple of days, so it's been pretty nice.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's what we're kind of upper 8. We've hit 90 a couple times this week, but in the morning it's in the 60s, and I like that. That's nice. Especially because going out and messing with that boat. So, yeah. What have I been doing? Boat trailer. So had a setback. I was frustrated. So I had a 4-day weekend, Friday through Monday. So Friday morning I got out there and I got the 3 new hubs on what would be the port side, right? I'm like, yeah, I got the hubs. I just got to get the brakes on, do a little work on some of the trailer lights, and I'm good. So Saturday, I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a day off from boat trailer stuff. I got the griddle out here that I've left and not taken good care of, so it started to rust a little bit. So I went out and redid the griddle and got it all nice and working. I had a great breakfast on it the next day. And so Sunday morning, after cooking on the griddle, I got up, cooked on the griddle, ate a good breakfast, went outside to install these brakes, and all 3 of the calipers were seized up. And I've been putting gunk on it. I've been putting anti-seize on it, PB blaster, everything, and not just the cylinder, but the sliders that the bolts go through to mount it. All those things that are supposed to move, it's all seized. Pounded on it. Finally, I decided, well, I got to get. This is Sunday morning. I got to get 3 new freaking brake calipers, which is cha-ching, 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 and it puts me at a stop because it's Sunday. Even local places aren't open Sunday to get them. If I order them, it's going to be days. So I'm like, screw it. So that blew Sunday for me. And I was mad. I was so depressed. And then we got through Sunday. Monday morning, got up, went to the local trailer parts place. No, they don't carry that type of caliper at all. So I'm like, well, now I know I got to order them, get back home, find them online. I'd already replaced one before, so I knew where to order them. But I order them, and they're not going to be here until this coming Saturday. So now Monday, I've got nothing to do, no brakes on. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to mess with. I had one light out on the trailer, and then when I checked them, I found another one of the marker lights. I'm like, okay, well, let me get. Man, I'm glad I dug into that. There was some jacked up wiring on that trailer. So I spent, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours redoing wiring. One light I had to replace. The rest of them was just bad wiring. Redid all the wiring, got it all cleaned up. When you use those heat shrink connectors like you should when you're doing marine stuff, heat them, right? Don't just connect them and then leave those ends all wide open, or guess what? Water and salt water gets in there and corrodes it and ruins it. I knew that because that's what I was looking at when I was underneath that trailer. So I got new wires, got new heat shrink connectors, heated everything, zip tied everything. Now all the lights are awesome. But man, another lesson learned.
I got a little tip on that I heard, and actually I'd love to run this one by you in case I'm getting something wrong about this, but we did a video a couple years ago where we were using heat shrink on our wire leaders for some of the trolling rigs that we were doing. And I had a guy in England tell me in an accent that I couldn't even begin to reproduce, but he was telling me to do it with steam, and said we had a candle going that we were sitting there using. And he said to do steam, boil water and do it over steam, so that flame doesn't damage the heat shrink itself, but also whatever's underneath it. At least, like if you have it over mono, it would help with that.
I can see that, I guess. For wiring, you're going to burn the heat shrink, which you could damage it, like you said. I don't think you could burn the wire inside it before burning the heat shrink. So at least you would see, I screwed this one up and redo it. You know what I mean? But that's better than to not heat shrink nothing. Yeah, and that's a surprising thing. I think, I don't know, a couple weeks back, I posted a picture of the little fuse box underneath the dash, and I would say 90% of the wires connected to it were using like automotive connectors, no shrink type, none of that. And I'm like, so it's all corroding. I'm like, what are these people doing? I got to replace the whole fuse box, all as much of that wire as I can, and new ends to redo all that stuff. So
was that thing on saltwater?
Yeah, it was down at Port O'Connor.
That's amazing. That's amazing that they were running it with those kinds of connections, and that the whole thing wasn't just a block.
Yeah, and you wonder. So this guy lives up in Dallas, and kept his boat down there. So, and it was at a marina where I got it, and they were the ones doing the maintenance for him, I guess. Now he's the second owner, so I don't know what happened in Florida with the first owner, but it amazes me that somebody might have actually paid somebody to do that kind of work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to do it yourself. But so that's what my week's been about. So I'm still So next weekend, of course, there will be an update on TikTok about the brakes. Hopefully, get the brakes done, everything's installed, and get that dang thing inspected so I can get it registered and titled, and then we can move on to the more funner stuff of working on the boat itself, get the boat ready to go.
So what's the goal here? What's the goal date to get it in the water?
I think it's probably going to be somewhere between February and April. Because what I'm doing is, we're going to leave it down at the coast. We're going to get a storage place down there, 2.5 hours away. So it's not like I'm just going to drive down 2.5 hours to work on it and drive home 2.5. So I want, while it's here, do as much as I want done on it that I can afford to do now. So that's why we pushed it back to give ourselves time to get the stuff done that we want to get done on. There's things interior wise and all that Audrey wants to get done. So I said, let's keep it here at the house and get all of it done so that we can take it down there and leave it. And then we go down, we bring some stuff with us, get the boat, put it in the water, and go fish.
I like that. Not only the have to things to get done, but
some of the things we want.
Yeah.
Not just the needs, but some of the wants.
You're going to save yourself hundreds of dollars by doing that just because of the cost of whatever storage place, if you're putting in a storage place, but also, and insuring, I think you have to get insurance to store them, but also also you're talking about like January and April being your goal date sometime in there, just FYI. January is when we do those big sheep's head.
Yeah.
So
that's
what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, I said February.
He said February, but
you're trying
to push it up to January.
Yeah, he wants me to push it up.
I'm sorry,
to
not January. No, February. I'm sorry. January and February. In January, you get some pretty nice weather windows. In February, you may or may not, but if you do, that's when you get the sheep's head. It's February.
Cool. So what do y'all? Am I missing? I haven't. So I'm talking so much, I'm not reading. Am I missing anybody what they did this week?
Scully he's been going through the COVID.
Oh, brother, I feel for you. That hit me. What was that, like a month ago now? And that rocked me for weeks. I mean, I'm old and broken, but yeah, it rocked me for weeks.
It was January for me. Same thing.
Yeah, not cool at all. Electrical for me, electrical's fine when it's like an upgrade that I want to do. I want to upgrade some electronics, and what's not fun is when you're trying to chase something down, like the autopilot on it, right? If you've seen some of my pictures I posted when I posted that fuse box and the wiring, and I had the autopilot controller laying on the deck, that the autopilot would not come on at all. Well, I went down there. I found, hey, this wire's not, or this fuse is blown. Let me put a new fuse in. And the wire wasn't hooked up. Let me hook the wire up. Pop, fuse pops. It's the autopilot. So that's the kind of electrical stuff I don't like to do, because now there's so many things that this autopilot attaches to work properly. And now I got to try to track down. And I was looking at, it's got some real skinny little thin wires on it. And there's like 4 together, and then there's an opening, and 2 come out, and the other 2, I don't know what happened to them in there. So that's the kind of wiring stuff I don't like to do. But if I'm installing something new, I don't mind running the wires and doing that. And doing the fuse box, I don't mind doing just because I know it's going to make things better in the long run. I still got to figure out what all those wires attached to the fuse box even attached to. I don't even know. So, yeah, I got a lot of investigative wiring work to do, and I'm not a skilled electrician. I know enough I can hook up stereo in cars, and I can do some electrical work, but don't hand me a multimeter, because I'll be like, okay, what do I set the dial to for it to tell me there's electricity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes me feel better.
Got the little light screwdriver looking thing with the light on it where you hook the negative, and I got that.
Where it's like yes or no. There's a light or there's not.
Yep, that I'm good with that.
Did the light blow up?
That? If you want to know amperage and all that shit, don't talk to me.
Talk to David Martin. He's the electrical engineer.
Oh, Dave.
David, I might be hitting you up, man.
Yeah, you just got the worst shout out in the world. You're gonna be getting
Yeah,
so many
really.
phone calls now.
Look who's in the house. Mark J. If I missed you earlier, good to see you, brother. Glad you made it.
Oh, man, I think he just popped in.
Did he?
Cheers.
Yep, I can do it. Yeah, look, Grant, now that he's not on call, he's all cheers.
Yeah, right. He's making up for lost time.
He's on call, you don't say shit about cheers.
No, there's a big difference.
Yeah. Oh, man. What else going on? Uh-oh. Ben, I didn't see Ben sneak in. What's up, Ben?
What's up, Ben?
Good to see you. Go to the Ren Ferry. I don't even know what that is.
The Renaissance Fair.
Oh. All by you onesie? Oh, by himself.
Dude.
Okay. You're talking crazy. Are you drinking already? You've been drinking.
I've been wanting to do that with my family. We did that when I was a kid and had a ball. And I got pictures of it, by the way, coming up here. We'll look at and Pickle too. I got y'all's pictures coming up in just a bit. We're going to take a look at them. Ben, I got your pictures in there. Renaissance Fair is a blast. I've been wanting to take my daughter and her and my nieces for years now, and we've never pulled it together. But man, Peter's got a kilt for me, and that's all I'm going to wear is just a kilt with like some mud, and I'm going to drink
Peter
whiskey.
out there. I've never been into Renaissance Fair. It was funny though that he just brings it up because like 2 days ago, my daughter, the oldest up in Connecticut, took her kids, right, my grandkids, to a Renaissance Fair, and it was their first time ever. They had a blast. They're going to go back next year and dress, the costumes and everything. I'm like, that's freaking find something the kids love to do and get them doing it. You know what I mean?
No, it's not about the kids. I think all of us should get together and do this. Let's send the kids to let's get a hotel and we'll get like a bunch of babysitters just to like monitor doors at the hotel, and all of us need to go to Renaissance Fair.
I don't know. I just can't feel it. I've never had the desire to go to one.
So is it people dressed up from back in the Renaissance period?
Yeah. And they get into the character and they do like the music and the drinks and the food, like you're walking around with a big turkey leg. And
sweet.
If you have a cell phone, like if you're taking pictures with a cell phone or something, they all like, ooh, what is this magical device that you're, they get real into it.
Nice.
All right. Ben started talking about drinking. Let you all guess what I'm drinking tonight. Take a look. You know what I'm usually drinking.
Actually, Ben, you can appreciate this.
It's like some lemonade.
Okay, there is lemonade involved. So, summertime, one of my go-tos when I stray away from Jack is vodka and lemonade, right? But matter of fact, you guys, when we were all down at the beach together this last time, Audrey bought some different canned drinks, and some of them were Crown Royal mixes. There's a Crown Royal Peach, there's a Crown Royal something else, and there's a Crown Royal Lemonade. And I liked that one. So I drank them, and I just drank one this weekend, the last one in the house. I drank it, and I'm thinking, Crown Royal is whiskey, and it's with lemonade, and I like it. Let me put some Jack in some lemonade. Guess what? Jack and lemonade is pretty good.
Nice.
So for the last couple of days, it's been my drink, Jack and lemonade.
I'm going to get you into a good scotch, John.
I don't like scotch, man. I'll drink it if it's free, but.
What if it was absolutely 100% not free, but I got a glass for you anyway? That's
what I mean. As long as it's free to me, I usually drink it. Same with beer, like branded beer. Oh, I like this brand. I like that brand. If it's free, I don't care what brand it is. I'll drink it.
Right. If it's cold, I'll drink it. I can't drink some hot free beer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now, you know what is surprising is in Germany, right? They don't put ice in drinks, soda, water, nothing. And they don't really have, you can get cold beer now because they're a little Americanized, but usually they didn't cool their beer either. But the type of beers, the ales that they had, it wasn't that bad. Like me and my buddy he had like this ping pong table out behind where he lived. And we would go get like a 12-pack of beer and just sit there and play ping pong and drink beer, right? And the beer would be warm. But it's good German beer. Didn't bother us at all. Well, then one time we got the Class 6. It's a military liquor store, right? And he bought Coors Light, right? And so we didn't have ice or nothing over there. We just brought it and set it down like we did with the German beer. Man, we got about 4 or 5 beers into that, and it was disgusting when it got warm. And so there really is a difference. Some beers just don't taste that bad warm compared to lagers and really American light beers. Oh, they taste terrible when they get warm.
So my beer, my thing on beer is I am real like I want a beer that is specific to the mood, to the tone, to the atmosphere and the environment. I'm stupid about beer. If it's super hot and I'm out at the beach, I want a shandy. If I'm like on the lake outdoors, I want a shandy. I want Modelo. I want something light. The Coors. Coors and Miller Lite. I'm totally good with that. But like this time of year, I want like a Fat Tire. I want one of those more flavorful lagers, stuff like that. Dos Equis even. Wintertime, dude, I want it thick. I want 1050. I want Guinness. I want motor oil.
So I even gotten so far as where I was brewing my own beer, right? From grain, right? With hops. I took a freezer and converted it to a kegerator. I had 3 kegs tapped, right? And I got to where I was trying all these different beers. I've never cared for the stouts, right? The Guinness, any of those real heavy beers. But I tried all. But if I'm going to sit down and drink a beer or two, some of those beers you mentioned, Fat Tires and Irish Red, those are all really good. But if I'm going to be like at the lake kind of or drinking more than 3 or 4, I want that light lager. So I know I won't, because those other beers will just fill you up like you just ate a whole meal. You know what I mean?
That's part of the game. It's supposed to be a meal.
But you can't drink no more because you're full. So give me that light lager. So now I don't drink. I got some Oktoberfest. I got one more Oktoberfest in the fridge, and Shinerbach Oktoberfest, which is surprisingly good.
A box are good all the way. I think that we can at least all of us can agree that as long as it's not an IPA, we're good.
Scully Nation just said he loves IPAs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I hate those. I hate it. I always hated IPAs, and now I hate that the IPA is such a millennial thing.
I can drink IPAs, but they are just so hoppy. It's the hops that make them so bitter, and that's not a huge fan of IPAs either. Some are okay, but yeah, they get crazy with it.
Irish car bombs. You are speaking my language with that.
What? I don't even know what the heck that is.
I get into trouble with that's like a Boilermaker with Guinness.
Ben's going to be right back. Fighting words, Pickle said. Yeah.
I can't do IPAs, dude. I never like Sierra Nevada and there's so many of them now. I don't know.
There's bazillions of them.
Yeah.
Literally, there's tons
all those colorful cans on the shelf at Kroger's.
Yeah, or at HEB even. Yeah, they're all 90% of them are IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but Irish car bombs, man, geez, I don't even know what the heck that is, but everybody's talking about it.
That's you take a Guinness and you take some Jameson and Bailey's, like a shot of Jameson and Bailey's, and you drop it down into your Guinness, and then you chug the whole thing.
Ugh. I just can't drink Guinness. That's just like, I don't know. Just don't like those heavy stout beers.
Yeah. I like nitrogen-based beers. Your eyes.
How do we get onto the beer? I don't even know.
It's a good conversation. That's how.
It is. I don't know how we got here, though. Colorado ruined IPAs for us. Blame Colorado, Stanley.
Dude, someone... Tell you what, one of my all-time favorite breweries is in Colorado. Oscar Blues. I love 1050. I love they have an Irish Red that's amazing. It's like a red motor oil. It's called Old Chub. Amazing freaking beer. And 1050 is, if it's not my all-time favorite, it's like second. Easy.
I don't drink a lot of beer now. I mean, when we're out doing something, I'll drink some beer.
Yeah, I
But
don't
usually,
either.
like, even if we go out to dinner or something, I'll have a Long Island iced tea now before I'll have a beer.
Yeah,
But
I'm the same. Like,
I'll throw back some Bud Lights. I ain't gonna lie about that. If I'm on the boat and I'm bringing beer, that it's something like that. Easy drink, light beer that hopefully you can trade for bait with the
yeah, exactly right.
shrimp boat. What was that stuff you tried to trade them that they wouldn't take?
The first time we tried to do, I think it was Pearl.
Yeah.
It was like one of those really like not even Lone Star cheap beers.
Not that.
Yeah, and we and the thing was we put it in the case, tied a rope to it, and threw it to them, so they didn't know what they were getting. And so, but they got their beer, and they gave us all of our shrimp and handed it over. And then we were like, hey, this is some good shrimp. Like, they were big. Normally you just get like the regular shrimp, but these were the big jumbos. So my uncle, my dad are like, yeah, you guys, hey, you want to trade more? We got more beer. We bought 3 cases specifically for this purpose. And that was the shrimp that we wanted. And those guys looked at us and they were like, no, they did not want any more beer.
Not that beer. Like, I just missed it. Yeah, like Mark said, that's the kind of beer you don't try to give them. They're not.
I like Keystone Light.
But yeah, that's one of those beers that if you're out there and you're doing something over a period of time and you don't want to get toe up, then Keystone Light, Bud Light, Coors, whatever, they're fine for that.
I loved the old Keystone commercials.
Keystone is made by Coors. Keystone is Coors.
Shiner's made by Corona.
Wait, they make it in Shiner, Texas.
Yeah, Cerveceria Cuauhtémoc or whatever it's called owns that brewery now.
Oh, they own it. Okay. That makes sense. You hear all the Corona issues, like I'll drink a Corona to limit it on the beach, the right atmosphere. But it's the worst way to bottle a beer in a clear bottle because it goes skunk so easily because the sun or light of any kind hitting it. But they're like,
I like a bottle of beer. I've always preferred a bottle to a can, but cans are the better way to serve them, to store them.
Yeah, and I don't like having glass on the boat. So typically my rule is cans on the boat. So,
same here.
Plastic bottles, whatever, but I don't like glass on a boat. And I remember I was telling one of my friends.
If your beer comes in a plastic bottle, you got bigger problems, my friend.
The plastic bottle is things other than beer. Transfer of liquor to a plastic bottle is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I was talking to a friend's wife one day about that. They had a boat, and I was like, we don't have glass on the boat. And I'm saying that because people are barefoot. You drop a bottle and break it. You don't want that going in the water. And I don't know what her mindset was, but she goes, well, we have a trash bag. I'm thinking, how's that going to help you not drop it and break it and people get cut and stuff? So, I don't know. Toe up. That should be on a shirt. Yeah, toe up. Everybody says toe up, Pickle. We're getting toe up out here.
Yeah, I hear that at least 17 times every time I go to the beach. They have flags.
Talking about shirts. Have you been in studio lately, Stanley? In monetization, where there's a new thing there?
I have not. No.
Shop is where you can link your shop, whatever your shop is, to your YouTube channel. So now I could have something coming up on the screen right now during this live, trying to sell stuff or whatever, and they can, I guess, link these T-shirt places, right? That we all
they have partnerships with them. You're right.
It can be underneath your videos. You can do so. I didn't dig deep into it, but it says if it's there, it's available. I think the main thing was 1,000. Had to have 1,000 subscribers, and then boom, you're good. So
good for them. They don't let channel memberships until like 30,000, unless you're a gaming channel. Yeah, then it's 1,000. I thought that was the stupidest rule ever, but whatever. I'm not trying to get a bunch of. I'm not trying to capitalize on every single person out there, but that's cool that they do that. That's one of those things. I don't want to push it. I don't want to sit there and tell everybody oh, we actually do have some pretty cool shirt stuff that we do. But I'm not going to sit there every video and be like, hey, check this out. Look at this cool thing we do. It's just kind of
do it
there.
once in a while, or nobody even knows it's there. You know what I mean? How does somebody know it's there?
Which I don't, yeah.
You can have it pop up at the end of your video. You know, so there's different ways of using it. It's not just you can only do it this way. It sounds like there's multiple, like I said, have something underneath your video, you know, above the description, or so I was like, I'll look into it, see what it's like.
You know what? We're going to be doing a shirt giveaway on Patreon here pretty soon, but that's not something that I'm ready to announce just yet. Got some fun stuff coming up on Patreon, period.
Cool. Oh man. Hey, so did you guys know, of course, since the boat, I got the boat, right? I dig deeper. I'm a researcher. I like to go and figure stuff out long before I ever try it. So I've been looking at a lot of offshore things, and Grady White, there's a Grady Life forum that has a lot of info on it. And then of course the Whole Truth. And I didn't know there was a debate about these guys who go out overnight offshore, like, you know, 50, 60, 70 miles out and stay overnight. The debate's about whether you leave motor running or not.
Oh, I never thought about it.
And the majority of them say yes. They say if you have one motor, you better leave it on, because if you never know when it's not going to start the next time.
It's just one more thing that can fail.
And they said most of the, you know, the 4-stroke engines now, you burn maybe a gallon an hour, so that's not too bad. They say if you have multiple engines, then run one and then run, you know, alternate them, because you are putting hours, right? If you sat out there for 12 hours, you know, that's hours you're putting on the motor that just idling. But then there's other guys that are like, you should trust your equipment and la, 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 la. So I don't know. I think I could see, I don't have any plans to do an overnight trip. It'd be a while. I'd have to really get a lot of trips under my belt, day trips, before I felt comfortable doing an overnight trip. But they'll be like, yeah, we got 4 or 5 guys. There's always somebody awake, because you never know what's going to come, you know, other boats and stuff like that. And so, yeah, a lot of other stuff to think about besides just, you know, having enough gas to get out there and back. And then if you are going to leave it running, you got to figure that into your equation of gas too, you know? So, yeah, I followed this one thread. I think it's the Whole Truth, where they're just going back, and they got a little ugly about it, even a couple of the guys.
Those guys are vicious, for one. Yeah. I post there very rarely, and I have had my ass handed to me a couple of times. Actually, one of the places where I met Darcy was I'd made a post on there, and they were harassing the shit out of me. Like, they were tearing me up for some really stupid nonsense. And she came over, and that's when it was Brian, I think, who actually came over, and he's like, hey, just so you know, like, these guys, don't listen to them. That's he was consoling me the whole time, and that's where, like, I think that's where I made, like, my first met them. Was because of people on Whole Truth tearing me up.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy though. I couldn't believe there was a controversy like that over.
I could see that making sense. So that's like one thing that could fail that you don't want to. For two, my thought on this too, something you didn't mention, but something so you don't spend a lot of time. Like, your boat doesn't spend a lot of time running. You know, like it's if you run that thing over 12 times a year, you're probably doing better than most. So those engines, they need to be run. So why not let it run? Let it do its thing. Let it work out its own kinks and get some of that use that it needs, you know, is one of my thoughts on that. I know my dad has some words.
They also like, hey, we leave lights on. We leave the radar on. All this stuff is draining batteries. And what you don't want to, you know, be 70, 100 miles out and have no way of starting your motor. So I'm like,
my dad's done.
I got a battery backup pack that I use in my truck that I'll bring out on the boat with me, which can jump start. So those are nice to have. But
yes,
my dad's done a couple of those. He's in the chat down there. He says, yeah, never turn the engines off. Turn them off and on. You can alternate between them, but one always needs to be running, just because you don't want to get into a spot for whatever reason where you can't start the thing back up, and then you're 80 miles offshore. If you have to drift, like if you lose electricity and you have to drift home, like one of the things that he's always told me when we're offshore is you want to stay like in shipping lanes, stay where other boats and stuff will come by so that you can pop a flare at them if needed. But if you are overnight and you turn off your engines and for some reason you can't get them back on, the radio's not working, and you fall out of a shipping lane, you're going to end up in the Yucatan. Like you don't wash up on Padre Island 80 miles offshore. You wash up in a different country.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that seemed to be the primary point was don't turn, if you got multiple motors, don't turn them all off. Always have a motor running. And if you have one motor, you better leave that sucker running the whole time. But yeah, there were some ones that were adamant that you should know enough about your equipment to be confident in being able to turn it off and know it's going to start when you turn it on. And then that's not, I think that, that's well thought, but in real life, the one guy saying you can't predict when a starter is going to go out or something's going to go wrong, right? Or a battery will be, the battery's going to be dead tomorrow at noon.
Practice redundancy.
Yeah, absolutely. What's cool about this, so the Grady White's got 3 batteries on it. 2 of them are in parallel, right? So there's a switch for them, and then one's a standalone. So the standalone starts a motor, and the parallel start a motor and does the house. So I guess for me that would be the one I would. Well, if you're going to rotate, I guess it doesn't matter, but you want to make sure that battery stays charged because that runs everything, and that's the one that can get drained the easiest because the lights, the radar, everything else is running off that one battery. So I just got to figure that part out.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a neat setup. I don't know why, but when I go down there and look at the boat the first time, they've got both switches. So there's a 1, a 2, and an all. They have both switches and all. And even the inspector didn't say nothing about it. And then we went out and did the test right now. They left it in all on both, which is using both batteries to start your motors. But when you look at the manual, it says switch for the ones that are in parallel should be in 1. That'll start the one motor. And then the switch on the other one should be in 2, and it'll start the other motor. So they're separate systems. When you battle them in all, now they're one system. So something could technically drain all 3 batteries running one thing without the motors running because they're all linked at that time when you have them in all.
So you can't isolate the one.
You can, but they didn't have it that way, and I couldn't figure out. I still haven't figured out why they did that. So when I go to set them correctly, 1 in 1 and the other in 2, I'm going to go back and trace the wiring and make sure because it's a 20-year-old boat. Who's to say it's still wired the same way it was when they built the boat? Someone could have got the boat and said, I don't like that. I want to take them out of parallel or something. Who knows? So
it's the same person who's sitting there going, nah, you get offshore and you turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I tell you what. Go ahead, Grant. Go ahead.
So what's up, David? Playing hooky? Good to see you.
What's up, man?
Yeah, it's in the house. All right.
We have been running through this. We kind of need to get into some pictures here real quick before we get too far into the game.
What you got for us?
I got a few. And we got them all divided up here and stuff like that. If you want to bring them up, man.
Yep.
There it is. Our pictures of the week. We got some good ones. First off, Kitchen Gamer wasn't able to make it tonight, but he wanted to send it. There was somebody he was talking to last week about a banana cake, and so he sent this to me. And it's like, this is the cake I was talking about with that guy. Had to show it. Zorpan, he's got some good pictures over there. Yeah, he did something too. I don't even know. It's in a video that he's actually putting out. Kitchen Gamer does stuff where he makes recipes for food that you see in video games. Pretty cool concept. So that's what this was. He made this for one of his videos. At Pickle, he went out there. Is it Abel? You're still here. I'm like looking him up because I thought those were just. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Abel.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Ben got in. So Ben, that's when you were doing that fair thing, right?
The Renaissance.
Yeah, that's the Renaissance Fair right there. I'm sorry, I should have blown that up bigger. I apologize, Ben. We should have gone bigger with that. You deserved your own slide with that. He says they lost 2 of 4 inches on a 12-hour trip out of Galveston. Had a 10-hour limp back. Yeah.
Ooh.
I hope you guys were trolling the whole time.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Pup dog in the. I really like that picture of his son.
Yeah.
Just the photo itself, how he's perfectly focused, and then everything behind him's a little bit blurry.
So yeah, he's got that spatial distortion. We
Did he
know
take
like
that?
Pickles won like twice. I don't know.
Or did his wife take that?
Yeah, did you take that? Who took that photograph? Because whoever that is, that's a good one.
Yeah,
she gets credit again.
Mm-hmm.
He gets credit, but
he took it.
He'll tell us.
Nice. Okay. He had a couple of good ones. I can only fit so many. There's a few that didn't make the cut for a lot of people this time around. That was our starting package, though. Yeah, just him in the sun that day. Hey, that was cool. That's cool. That's I made a big deal about that. That's what it's all about. Like, that's important.
Yep. Get him out there.
Next up, Channel Cat's got himself a nice. I don't even know what is that. What kind of trout is that?
Those aren't channel cats.
Channel Cat and those stripers up top.
Hey, I don't know. Is that a brown trout or is that'd be a huge brook? I would say brown, right? Anybody else got a guess? I'm guessing that's a brown trout.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. It's gorgeous, whatever it is, and apparently they're cannibals,
right? That's what I was looking at.
Says a brown too. Yeah, right. It does look like it. That lure looks like it.
I didn't even know you used lures like that for those guys.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the stripers or hybrids up there. It's kind of fat for stripers. They look like stripers. They got typically a striper will have at least a line or two that's complete. So the gill plate back to the tail, and the hybrids they're all broken. There won't be a complete line. So those look like stripers. They're fatties.
Yeah, they are. And he's another one. Channel Cats isn't here with us, but he's another one who had a lot of picks, and I just had to pick the best ones to put him up there. Hey, Reef did a lot of stuff down there, and then we got a pike from MXD. Is that right? Is it MXD?
Is that a chain pickerel or is that a northern pike? Do we know?
I don't know. I think it's a pike, but I don't know.
Oh, it's a pike, yeah.
I guess they're all pike, aren't they?
Yeah, yep. Black Warrior Lures down there. That area he's fishing is beautiful.
Yeah, so he's doing some cool stuff on his channel. He's doing some work on a boat. And, he posted that pic, and I was just like, dude, that pic to me just says it all right there.
What is that one he's lipping? Is that a little bass?
That's Hey Reef. And, I don't know. It's a really dark-colored little bass.
Yeah,
almost like smallmouth.
The other one below it is either a sauger or a walleye.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a walleye. I thought sauger was a walleye.
They're a type, I guess. They're related, put it that way.
Mm. Next up, we got the salt. Oh, I thought it was saltwater, guys. I guess not. Oh, that's right. I had to combine these. So anyway, we've got VS versus Hammerhead, something like that. He had a ton of pictures. So I picked a couple of his because they were just bass after bass after bass. He was excited. And then we got some sunfish from Sunfish King and Nick. And then old President Eden got himself a couple of Spanish mackerel.
Yeah, one's a nice one. That's a good picture. The wood in the background.
Yeah, I don't know if those are Spanish mackerel or Cerro.
I think they're Spanish. I don't see the line you usually see on a Cerro.
Yeah, like the stripe, the spots on a Cerro kind of stretch out a little. They're probably Spanish mackerel. Cerro, I think you see those more down in Mexico than here. But you find them, but not as common. Next up, we got our hunting boys. Pickle he's been seeing some activity. That's what he was out there looking at. Scully says definitely Spanish Max. Okay. They're all tuna casserole to me. Hideki Anthony Elko he's got one on camera right there, and then Sunfish King. I don't know where he got that shot, what game cam he was doing, but he's got something. He's got some game ahead of him on that one.
That's a hideous looking coyote, I guess.
Yeah, we're probably going to make that an emoji on the server.
Yeah, that thing is creepy looking.
Yeah, that look.
Yeah. Wow. Nice deer.
And next up, so the winner last week was Kevin, something like that. He had that beautiful little canoe picture that he had.
Yeah, this week.
It was that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So last week it was, I can't pronounce his name. Kevlin.
Kevlon?
Kev
Allen?
Kev Allen.
Kev Allen. Oh, maybe it is Kev Allen.
That sounds good. He's not here, right?
I'm going to call him Kev. So old Kev over here is our photographer of the week. He's not here to defend himself, so my apologies, sir. But one of these gentlemen is going to be taking the title from him. We have Channel Cats with that gorgeous little trout. We have Damon Black Warrior Lures with just a gorgeous shot down on the creek. And then Chris Vela, that stingray dude, that said it all to me. That just big fish. He's right in the middle with all the friends and family in the background there. So I thought I'd throw everybody into the mix on this, and I am curious to hear what your thoughts are. Let us know into the chat down below. Vote A, B, or C. Who's going to be the winner of this week's Photographer of the Week?
Henry's voting for Pickle.
For which one? Which?
He's not there to vote for.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't appreciate that though, Henry. It's just, that I'm kind of curious if that coyote was actually caught on his game cam. That looked like you might have seen that on a YouTube video or something to me. So far, we got Channel Cats 3, 4. And we got 2 for Damon with Black Warrior Lures. I'm going to cast my vote for him because that one just, to me, sells it. And I don't mean anything against Chris because I had a blast with him.
What part of the internet did we break?
I think he means he wasn't at the last stream.
Oh.
So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for B. 5 for A, 4 for B.
1 for C. Sounds like A's winning. Any other votes? Oh, wait, there's some more B's.
Tied up at B. Or tied up. A and B are tied. We need some tiebreakers, guys.
I've already voted.
Oh, we got off on this one a little bit. Sorry about that, man.
Oh, I didn't see it cut off either. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. We need at least one more vote to get a win. Unless should we do A and B?
You could have.
Do we have another dual winner this week?
You could.
I'm game for that. I like both these guys. They're both very they're both good guys. I feel bad about Chris like being the only guy not to win. Chris was my buddy out on the jetty the other day.
Vote early and vote often.
Mm-hmm. Got 10 more seconds before we need our next vote. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did we get one in?
Nope.
That is it. We got a tie.
Tie A and B, Channel Cat and Black Warrior Lures.
Channel Cat. Yeah, I'll take that. I will take that. We will let them know ASAP. Guys, thank you so much for voting on that. I appreciate that. We will get that posted for everybody here in just a bit. Make sure to stop by the Discord server. We do have a link in the description down below. Say thank you to Kai for all of the hard work that he does in there. Henry, of course, is another one of our gentlemen who's always around in there. A lot of these guys are. Say hi to everybody and get your photos in. Come and post some pictures, and let's see what you got going on this week. It's Tuesday, which means you have a couple of days to prepare your plans for the weekend.
Yep.
And get something going. Go and have some fun. If you got nothing else going on, we're going to be doing a Sharkathon, and you are welcome to join us on Padre Island. We'll go and have a good time.
All right. So those of you in the chat, we've only got a couple minutes left. Go ahead and let us know what you are going to plan to be doing this weekend. We know that Mr. Stanley Orchard is going to be fishing Sharkathon.
Yeah.
Grant, you got plans for this coming weekend?
No plans yet, but we're going to try to figure something out to get outside.
Yeah, go hunt, go fish, go, because I'm not. So you guys do it in my stead, because you know what my plans are? Boat trailer and boat. So those are my plans. And I'll keep so I'm posting updates on my TikTok, and then I post stuff in Facebook, I put a little on Twitter, not a lot, and a little on Instagram, but TikTok and Facebook are the main ones. I'm posting updates and photos from that stuff. And if you didn't see it on Grant, did you see my ski griddles?
Yes.
So if you ever ate at McDonald's and had the McGriddle, so it's the maple pancakes with whatever sausage, bacon, whatever, and egg and cheese. So I created ski griddles. And on the griddle, I made maple pancakes, some breakfast sausage, fried eggs, and some cheese. And we made our own ski griddles. And they are 10 times better than McGriddle, just so you know.
They look good.
They're delicious. The wife said she's going to be requesting those all the time now. So.
Nice.
All right. What else we got going on? That's about it. Where are we at next week, gentlemen?
Should be my turn.
All right. We're down at Grant's house next week.
Let's do
Mark
it.
says he's winterizing his camper. Ha ha. I only say ha ha because everybody's winterizing their boats and campers, and we don't have to
just
do
throw
that.
a tarp under the
Yeah.
tree.
There's no winterizing down here. We get to use our stuff in the winter for the most part.
Yeah,
All
that's when some of the best times are.
Any alibis from the group up here?
We got Wild Japan's going to be hiking Nico National Park. Mark Larson's going to be winterizing. Scully is going to be hoping to get out. He's still feeling a little under the weather, but he's hoping to get out. Ben says, how do we have 12 people watching and 10 votes? You don't get to vote present like Barry Sotero.
And we only got 10 thumbs up soon.
Send some pictures, guys, so that we can take a look at what you're doing next week and we'll get it all together.
Yep, absolutely. All right, folks, it is time. We will catch you all next week on Grant's channel. Same time, 6 p.m. Central Time, folks. We will see y'all later.